G'day world, I really do hope my message is getting out there. I don't suppose it helps when you don't get time or the energy or the mental stability to actually make messages like this. Yep, I look like a wreck, and I am like a wreck. On a positive note, let's start it with a positive note. I had Botox injection yesterday, 300 micrograms, I suppose you'd call it. It wouldn't be a great deal. It's not mils and it's not milligrams, that's for sure. Maybe it is milligrams, I don't know. My head is quite a big blur today. There's so much going on in my head. I don't know, maybe this is my second time we've been able to bring forward my NDIS plan, but on the 17th of December, it's always Christmas, it's always New Year's. As of the 17th of November, I don't have funding left for the remainder of my quarter. Basically explaining it, a quarter is 3 months to the NDIS. They give you 3 months worth of funding, and if you have leftovers, great, fine, it rolls over. If not, you've expired it all, and you've got to learn to make do for the remainder of that quarter, of course under exceptional circumstances. My issue is safety. NDIS don't really want to see my FND as a disability or a permanent one. Mine isn't just about the neurological complaint that stops my legs from cooperating, for the better word. It's to do with my sight, my fatigue, my swallowing, my bladder, my bowels, my walking. There's a great deal. And as a whole, it's not my life. I'm not just disabled because of my FND. I'm disabled because I've had a pretty traumatic life. It's hard to see it as traumatic, but having a condition like FND has made me realise that trauma is a big factor to apparently getting a neurological condition or disorder. I hadn't even heard of the condition, and I've been a nurse for over 30-something years. 32 years maybe, a little bit less, a little bit longer. And yep, I've had breaks from my nursing career, but in that time frame, I have nursed people with neurological complaints, but not really. It was also called conversion therapy. So I don't really recollect nursing any patients with conversion therapy, functional neurological disorder, and it was called another condition in the early to late 1800s, and hysteria. That's right, hysteria. And so I've never really heard of it. So when I was diagnosed with it in 2022/2023, so December 2022, January 2023, it was all new. I was told that it basically all in my head and that I needed to seek psychiatric help for it. And ever since that diagnosis, it has been very difficult to comprehend, understand, and manage my everyday life. So it just is not about my legs not cooperating with me each day. I have been out and about in the community, and I have dropped to the floor, not because I've fallen unconscious or have hit my head, because my legs have decided not to carry me any further. So when I go out now, I have to use a wheelchair. And I have to always be with a carer or someone else. And I don't have anyone else that isn't possibly disabled like me that can come out with me. It has certainly gotten worse since the diagnosis in 2022. Cognitivity affects that. Although I'm glad to say that I've been working really hard on that, and it is getting me somewhere, but I still have issues. I can be looking at something like this. I know it's a vape. I can describe it to you. I can say it's pink. You suck on it. It lets smoke out of your mouth. But I can't think of the word. So
Someone was detected at your front door.
articulation, etc. Just give me a sec. I had to stop to see who was at the front door, so humble apologies, but part 2 of this. So articulation, memory, that's also something else that affects me. I do carry a document around now so that if I do end up going to hospital or in an ambulance or anything of that nature, I seek medical help. I take a letter with me, explains my condition. I have my carers now 3.5 hours per day, and I've gone from over 40 hours for 7 days, so 6-hour shifts every day, down to 3.5-hour shifts. I used to have physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. Did I say psychology? Clinical nurse that comes out to change my catheter. I'm struggling again, but at the moment I've counted 5 health providers. I get none of those. So I've gone back from having carers 6 hours per day for 7 days a week to all those services, to no services. I have a catheter, one of these things. It's a permanent fixture, and it goes from my belly button through my internal organs into my bladder, and a balloon keeps it in situation, or in situ, in place. And it's something I can't do myself. It's something my carers aren't equipped to do either, because the company that I work through doesn't do it. But I'm not willing to sway from that, because they do a hell of a lot for me and they go above and beyond. I guess what I'm getting at is my mental health has taken a drastic dive, and the only other option I think I have is the acute mental health care team. When my carers go home each day and my son goes to work and I'm left here by myself with my ex-service dog, I say that because there are certain things she knows still how to do, but she certainly wouldn't know how to save my life if I fell and I was unconscious on the ground. They lose those skills if they're not, I guess, practicing them. She hasn't done her job for more than 2 years, so that's straying off the point. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's hard to survive without the support mechanisms in place that you've had for over 5 years that have worked tremendously for me, that I have had cut off straight away. No cutbacks, no slight movements down the track and slow things down. It was a cut-off point and that was it. So now I am struggling in life. And if I do have an accident, then I have to call O to get help getting up off the floor. I have to call the acute mental health care team to find out how I can get by and manage things. Oh, I don't know, I'm so fucking lost. I'm jaded, I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm grieving, I'm doing so much, and it's not so good at the moment. I've got birds to care for, I've got a dog to care for. I don't want to go to hospital. That is, I'm so adamant I don't want to go to hospital. I can't afford to go to hospital. I've got pets to take care of. So it's hard. And watching that video back of me in my PJs this morning and struggling to walk, I guess when you see yourself in that situation, it takes you back. It takes you, it surprised me just how much I have gotten worse. I've moved out. I'm enjoying my new house, but between all my healthcare appointments and the fact that I can't afford to get the girls to take me out to a coffee shop anymore, I unfortunately lent my daughter some money and she's run off, and yeah, stupid mistake. And do we really ever learn from these mistakes? Do we ever fucking learn from them? I don't think I ever have. I mean, I have high hopes about getting the money back. And I don't even like to say the words, but I've helped him out so much with my grandson's winter and summer outfits, food. My son wasn't even there. She kicked out my son and I was still paying for his food each week. I did these extra things because I care as a parent and I want to help. I said quietly, "Good morning, darling," but that was turned into a "good morning, cunt." I don't know, I was being nasty to her husband apparently, so I don't know. So much that has hurt me, so much pain that I'm holding on to, and yep, I am playing the victim, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, but that's just how I feel. So I've made this video, and I hope you all out there can share it and tell the right people. I don't know if NDIS really care. The impression I get is that I'm just another number, and if that number ends up taking a dive 6 foot under, that's a piece of funding we won't have to pay out. And that hurts me to even think about that, because I've been in that predicament before and I've had no hope. I had no hope and I wanted to end life. But because of continued care and the hard work, I don't ever feel like doing that ever again. I've got beautiful people in my life, my village of people, and I love them as much as they love me. I may no longer have my daughter and my grandson in my life. I don't even know my son-in-law has ever liked or loved me. I think that's been dependent on what he was told about me. I think I've grasped the idea of never having them in my life again, because obviously they can't pay me back, but they can get a home loan. I have my son in my life. He means everything to me, and his life is just beginning. And I want to see I want to see him grow, move out, get married, have kids if he chooses to. I want to see all of that. And I'll be damned if I'm going to go anywhere because of suicide. It just makes me upset because I know I've been there in my past. It's ironic, I haven't been able to cry for such a long time. I was beginning to think that I was turning into a very hard mother of mine, but I still have the tears. So on that note, I'm going to leave you all to think about your neighbour, your friend, your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, auntie, your uncle, anyone in your life that is facing further challenges because of the NDIS. Give them a shout out. Help them to tell people what they're going through. I know it's going to get better. I have every hope. And let's hope that does very soon.